last 3 days, since 2 to 5 September, we've had an international conference on medieval wisdom. Interdisciplinary conference, because it involved both philosophical point of view and the theological point of view.
So that we have scholars from all areas of medieval wisdom, medieval history, medieval theology, medieval philosophy, that come together to discuss the concept of wisdom.
And only together we realize how rich the concept is and how many different sources and texts we find the concept, and yet how diverse the understanding is.
It is quite a paradox that what is the fundament of European philosophy, namely the research of knowledge, research of sapientia, research of wisdom, was a problematic question in the Middle Ages. It was not obvious that looking for knowledge is a good thing. Even looking for the knowledge of God. Are we allowed to know God? Are we allowed to hope for knowing God? There are many replies to these questions. We can see that there was a clash between the philosophical perspective and the theological perspective, between the monastic point of view and the scholastic point of view. But this clash was not irresolvable.
The Altiora quaesieris is an allusion to the original sin, which was supposed to be to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and ultimately to want to be like God. Now that could be taken in the wrong understanding as if thinking in itself would be bad and would be evil. I think quite the opposite should be the case, that God provided man an intellect in order that he is able to join God and to understand God and to reach God by this intellect.
We discussed also the studiositas, and there is some virtue in the studium, in the zeal to study, right? To find or pursuit of knowledge and of wisdom. And this is the same question that the medieval authors discuss. Although they know that curiosity is dangerous, because often it is also an Aristotelian thought that you can have too much of something, so that you are excessive in something.
I was surprised, for instance, that the notion of wisdom played such an important role also in ethics. I thought wisdom and the discussion of wisdom is mostly an intellectual endeavor about the nature of a discipline, the boundaries of our intellect, the way and the structure, how we think about God, about revelation, about religion. However, in this older tradition of Aristotelian ethics, I discovered that we have this tradition also in ethics, that good behavior, correct behavior, can also be a form of wisdom.
And there was also a bit of discussion on if it was should be mentioned wisdoms, maybe sapientiae, if there are more wisdoms. And so maybe there's one wisdom that expresses itself in all these in very rich ways. And so we all have our perspective that we bring to a certain aspect of wisdom. And that's what makes the concept very rich, and also the conference.